Everyone, welcome back. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about economic goals. We are building, I promise we're going to get there, to be talking about economic systems. There's a lot of stuff that we have to talk about in the background before we can talk about the actual economic systems. So in order for a society to choose what type of economic system it wants, it's going to look at some different goals that they want to satisfy. So today we're going to talk about those. Make sure you're in your interactive notebook and you're following along. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. And remember, we are on page 4 of your interactive notebook, and we're talking about economic goals. So our central question for today, we want to ultimately talk about what are the main economic goals for a society and why do they sometimes conflict? We're going to talk about 6 main economic goals. And again, these are different goals that societies they want to try and emphasize or strive to succeed. Not every society is going to hit all of these because it depends on what's going on. What's their history like? What are their values? What's their population like? There's a whole bunch of different things. So not every society is going to have the same goal. But our 6 economic goals, as you can see on your page, include economic efficiency, economic equity, economic freedom, economic growth, economic security, and economic stability. So let's break down each one of these and talk about them in a little bit more detail. Economic efficiency. This is when we take our scarce resources and we divide them up to produce goods and services that people want or need. It's really important to keep your production costs as low as possible. The goal is in the name of the game is in the goal name. You want to be as efficient as possible. As the picture or the graphic shows there, you want speed and quality, but you want your costs to go down. So you don't want to spend a lot of time. You don't want to spend a lot of effort. You don't want to spend a lot of money. Think about you as yourself to be efficient in this class. You don't want to just kind of wait to do everything at the end. You don't want to take your too much time. You want to use your time, your resource, as well as you possibly can to maximize your resources and be as efficient as possible. Our next goal is economic equity. This means what's fair. And determining what's fair is sometimes really challenging for a society. You have to determine what people think is right and what they think is wrong. This deals with the distribution of wealth. And as this graphic shows, equity isn't always the same as equality. As you notice, you've got a picture here of 3 kids trying to watch a soccer game. If we gave them all the same size platform, the little guy on the right-hand side still can't see. They all got the same thing, but it doesn't necessarily help everybody. So sometimes we have to say what's equitable. Notice the guy on the left-hand side in the red shirt, he doesn't really need a stepping stool. He's tall enough to see over the bench. The other 2, they do need a little bit of help, especially the little guy. So you might have to give something that's equitable. It might not be the exact same thing, but you help out who needs it. So what's fair? So you're providing, so that again, it's the idea of do we provide equal opportunity or equality of the outcomes? Economic freedom. This is where we allow consumers to decide how to spend and how to save their money. We allow workers to change their jobs freely. And we also allow individuals to create new businesses or close old ones. Now, this one might seem a little bit odd because, why wouldn't I be able to spend my money the way I want to if I earned it? Why can't I just go get a job if I want one? Why can't I close down my business and start a new one? In our society, we have that. Not all societies have economic freedom. So again, this will make more sense when we talk about some of those economic systems where some of the goals, all 6 of these goals aren't always emphasized. Economic growth. This deals with increasing production of goods and services over time. It's measured in the change in real GDP or gross domestic product. We'll talk more about gross domestic product when we get to macroeconomics. Usually a growth rate of about 3 to 4% is considered reasonable and the economy is doing well. Economic security. This isn't necessarily about security security for keeping you safe. It's more economic security or, keeping the economy safe. So it's protecting consumers, producers, and resources from risks in society. Each society has to decide who needs what type of protection. So this could be government intervention, saying that there's child labor laws. You can't hire somebody under the age of 15. It could be the idea of protecting producers so that you can't create a monopoly and drive out all your competition. It just depends on what's going on in that society and who needs that protection. Lastly, we have economic stability. This is when the economy needs to keep growing smoothly and steadily. Again, some of these things are going to make more sense when we get to macroeconomics, because we'll talk about a concept known as inflation, where we get prices that go out of control. So we want to maintain stable prices and full employment. Again, unemployment we'll talk about in macroeconomics. So we've got a lot of foreshadowing here. But we want stable prices. We don't want them to go super high. We don't want them to go super low. We want employment as close to full as possible. We want people who want jobs, they can go out and get them. We don't have a high unemployment rate. So again, price stability means avoiding inflation or deflation. And full employment occurs when the economy's scarce resources are fully utilized. So we're not necessarily wasting things. And again, people who want to be employed are employed. So again, those are our 6 economic goals. In our next lesson, we're going to talk about 3 essential questions that a society has to answer for itself. And then we will finally, drum roll, get to those economic systems. So make sure you check back for that. Thanks for watching.